Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and welcome to Knowledge Talks, a weekly edutainment and knowledge sharing program aired live specifically to share with you topics that contribute knowledge to the society. Every week, Knowledge Talks invites and hosts guests that are experts, professionals, and leaders from the field that bring wealth of knowledge to you. Knowledge Talks also highlights and promotes talents in the country that contribute knowledge and success to the nation. This program, ladies and gentlemen, is a weekly session that I will have with you every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'm your host, Omar Al Balushi, along with our studio engineer, DJ Ayub, for an hour bringing you free knowledge at your doorsteps on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Okay, stay tuned after this music break for today's interesting personality and interesting topic. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Al Balushi, along with our studio engineer, DJ Ayub, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. The Muscat Triathlon Club, an Omani-based events company, is all set to introduce the Omani sports community event, and indeed set Oman as a destination for triathletes worldwide. Now the question is, what is Muscat Triathlon Club? How does it work? And how can you be part of it? Well, my guest today is Omar Al Balushi, the media director of the event. He is with us here today to share with you all that you need to know about the event and how you can become part of it as well. The Millennium Triathlon is organized by the Muscat Triathlon Club in partnership with Tri-ME and the Millennium Resort Musana'a. The event is planned to join a lineup of events organized by the club and in partnership with Tri-Me in its 2016-2017 season that are organized to enrich the Omani sports community and set Oman as a destination to triathletes worldwide. Now today we have Omar with us here at Knowledge Talks to talk about the event and how this will impact Oman and specifically the sports community positively. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Omar, how are you doing today?
Wa alaikum assalam, Tariq.
I'm very, very excited. You know, I came to know about this event from a friend, and then of course, I invited you, and today I come and I sit with you. It turns out we are friends from a long time before I didn't know that. MashaAllah.
Yeah.
And I like how you are, MashaAllah, very, very detailed, and you notice things very, very well. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you. Omar, today we're here to speak about the event that you are organizing, the Muscat Triathlon Club.
Yeah.
Please tell us about it.
So, the event's name is it's called the the Millennium Triathlon. It's, as you mentioned already, it's organized by the Muscat Triathlon Club in partnership with the Millennium Resort to host the event, and Tri-Me, which is an event company that is partnering with the club to organize all of its events.
Okay.
So basically, I'll start by I know for sure that people don't know what the Muscat Triathlon Club is in the first place. So the Muscat Triathlon Club is a sport club.
Okay.
It's not an event company.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's a sports club.
It's a sports club.
Okay.
That was funded by two people, Mohammed Labeidani and Ali Tamimi.
Okay.
These are two hardcore triathletes. They really like and live the sport in their daily life. So they decided, why not start a club for all triathletes in Oman to kind of have that place to go to whenever, and have these kind of events to be organized for them whenever they feel like it, and not just like feel, oh my god, why don't we go to Dubai to do the events? Why not start doing them here? So in order to do that, they decided to start the club, which is the Muscat Triathlon Club, and then kind of gathered people from who are other triathletes in the country to join them in the club, and then the club just kind of started increasing in terms of membership and people. And everyone is had his own view on the the sport of the triathlon or the triathlon sport, but kind of they came together because they love that kind of sports.
Okay, let's go one step back and tell me triathlon. What does it mean?
So a triathlon is basically like a marathon, but it's a marathon of three different sports in one sport.
That's why you use the word try.
Try,
okay?
yes.
Okay.
It's a 3 sports in one sport. It's kind of like a marathon, but it's divided into 3 phases. That includes running, includes swimming, and cycling.
Running, swimming, and cycling. Okay.
Yes, and in a way, the difference between a marathon and a triathlon. Of course, there are other sports in the middle, like an aquathon, and an aquathon is basically swimming and running.
Okay.
And all these are kind of sub-marathons in a way.
Okay.
But they're kind of their own world, basically. They have their own standards, have their own ways of doing stuff, have their own measures, of course. And it's a popular sport around the world.
Okay.
And it has its own union, the ITU, the International Triathlon Union. But it's not kind of popular in the region. So we're kind of one of the first countries who are actually like in the region who are going to kind of like, hope people actually know what a triathlon is, and we're trying to kind of through the club to raise awareness on the sport of the triathlon, because people don't know what is it. People
I
know
didn't know it.
People know what a marathon is, but people don't know what a triathlon is. So our job is to kind of tell people, hey, this is a triathlon. It's not a marathon.
Okay.
It's a triathlon.
Okay, so you got 3 sports under it, which is running, swimming, and cycling.
Cycling, yes.
Okay, and this triathlon, is it done anywhere in the world? You said the region, no. So
no,
Oman
in
is
the
first
region
place
we
doing
do
it.
have a lot of activities happening. Like, for example, there is a championship called the Ironman that is organized in Bahrain.
The Ironman.
The Ironman.
Okay.
It's a worldwide brand in terms of an event, and thousands of people or hundreds of people actually come from around the world every year to participate in the Ironman in Bahrain.
And Ironman happens once a year?
Once a year.
When was the last one?
I think March, maybe. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
that was the last one. You
Yes.
see, a lot of people are coming.
A lot of people do come for the triathlon, and that's one of the things that a lot of people would not believe. Like, people come from around the world for this specific event whenever it happens,
which is in Bahrain.
In Bahrain, and triathlon in general, the sport itself has fans, the triathletes. They travel around the world for different triathlons all across the world in different times of the year. Like, someone would actually like go into 2 different triathlons in 2 different poles of the world in 1 month. They would
Just
actually
to
do that.
participate into
Participate.
this event.
Some people do it for fun. Some people do it because they're champions in it. Some people do it because, well, for the love of the sport, basically.
Okay, and in Oman, this will be the first time happening.
No, we did have a couple of triathlons before, but this is the first one that we actually reached a huge number of people that have participated in it or already registered in it.
Okay.
We crossed the boundary of 120 people internationally from around the world, from UK, US, Spain, Germany, even from the Gulf countries, of course. All these people are coming here for the event on the 7th. For the event, and then they're leaving on the day after.
And so the event happens in 1 day.
Yes.
And that's going to be 7th of October.
7th of October at the Millennium Resort in Muscat.
Okay.
And like, these people are just coming for the sport.
They're just coming for the sport?
They're just coming for that triathlon. It's not an international thing that we're organizing, like the World Triathlon Series, for example.
Okay.
Because there's something called the World Triathlon Series, which is like, for example, the World Cup of like the football club, basically.
Okay.
Like, you know how the World Cup happens?
Yes.
Exactly the same. People from around the world would come, join in one country, which Abu Dhabi have been hosting for the past 3 years.
Okay, mashallah.
Yes.
The World Triathlon.
The World Triathlon Series. And basically, like, people love the sports too much.
Okay.
People who ever like try the sport, they would really, really, really become into it, and then they can pursue a career in it.
Okay.
You can pursue a career in a triathlon just like you do in a marathon, just like you do in every other sport. But these people like love it too much.
Okay. And for the past 3 years, it was done in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi.
And is this in order for one to run this event? Do they need some kind of license, approval?
Yes, I think there is the World Triathlon Union. You have to be a member in it, which Oman is currently not.
Okay.
But we are through the Muscat Triathlon Club. We're trying to kind of have a membership in the International Union, so we can
host the world's
regional and world series of events, basically.
Ati. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's a very good. That's what I thinking big and thinking for the vision. Now, 120. How many times have you said this is the third time?
This is the second time we're doing it with Millennium, but we did have one before in SIFA, and we did have one before in. I can't remember that one.
But you had a lot of
we had like a couple of events, yes, like up from 3 to 4 events.
And this time you're having 120 people
120
registered
participants,
all over the world.
yes. Like the last triathlon we had like 50 participants maybe.
The last one, huh?
Yes.
MashaAllah.
Like this one we kind of just jumped from like 50 to 120 in a glimpse of an eye.
Tell me some of the countries, example of the countries that are participating.
Some people are basically it's not about countries. It's the triathlon is a sport that has like you can either come as an individual or come as a team, but there's no one who's representing a specific country. Like there is no like. For example, we have a team from Bahrain that is coming. 5 people from Bahrain are coming who are part of team that they're going to be competing in the team categories we have. So basically, to go into more details, we have 2 categories that people can compete in basically in the triathlon, individual and team categories. So in the individual ones, we have like Sprint Tri-Stars, Sprint Seniors, Sprint Veterans 1, Sprint Veterans 2, Sprint Veterans 3. And in the teams, we have the Sprint team and the Olympic team. Of course, from the name, the Olympic one obviously would be harder.
Okay, so these are all the categories that you have.
You can compete in and register. And basically, people came here and they already registered in a certain category that they're going to be competing in to be first or second or whatever for... To have a place in, basically.
So not all compete with each other, is it?
They kind of compete against each other, but in general we do have the sprint and the Olympic, and people have to compete against each other in these basically like their categories. And then in the subcategory, these are subcategories, but then there's the main one, like the main category itself, individual. You have to kind of compete against everyone in the individual category. And then at the same time, you have to compete against everyone in the group categories.
Okay.
So the subcategories are different. And then there's the main category that you have to kind of compete against everyone else.
Okay.
To
a very exciting event that you guys are organizing. And I like the idea that you guys are looking at developing the Omani sports community through this kind of event. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and revert back to an interesting discussion. Exciting interview today with Omar Al Balushi from the Muscat Triathlon Club. And before the music break, we looked into the club itself. How does it work? And what are we expecting in the coming next week? Is that 7th, right?
Yes.
Now tell me one thing. If I would like to join this, what do I need to do?
Unfortunately, we're sold out.
ما في حتى واسطة يعني So you sold out already,
yes, we're sold out. We have this website called Premier Online, which is one of the partners of the Muscat Triathlon Club.
Okay.
It's an international company that helps in kind of supplying sporting gadgets to sporting events. So these guys have on their website an events page where people who are from around the world in different sports, the ones I already mentioned to you, like the duathlon, the triathlon, the aquathlon, the marathons, they can find activities that are interested to them. Like, for example, if I want to find the Ironman, I might go to the premieronline.com and just search for the event.
Okay.
So we used to sell the registration that used to happen to the Premier Online. If you want to be a part of the event, you go to Premier Online and you register, pay the fees, and then your name immediately comes to us, and then we kind of do the communication and everything. And then if you're from outside the country, it's the same way. It's an international website. Everyone uses it from around the world. So we sold out at 120 and we sold out. So basically right now you can join us, but you can still come to the event and see the people competing there, see the people who are registered and they're part of the event. So basically you can be a part of the event by becoming, instead of being a part of the competition, you can
come and support the other teams.
Exactly. You can be like a part of the audience.
Oh,
People
inshallah.
there, we can need people to kind of just like come and see there what's
Because,
happening.
yeah, let's do this. Yeah. Are you part of it?
No.
You
I
didn't join as well?
I'm working.
We'll sit together then. You and I will sit and support the teams over there
Sure,
together.
why not? I'll be like left behind and it's like, hi, and waiting for them until they come back.
Tell us about the team behind the Muscat Triathlon. I want to know how this the club itself works, the number of people that you have,
Okay.
and how does it work?
So basically, the Muscat Triathlon Club is just like a normal club. It has a board of people that are kind of running the whole thing, people who are organizing the events, operations, and stuff. And it's like a normal sport club, like any other sport club you know here. But
Approved by the Ministry of Information.
yes, Ministry of Sports. But the differences between us and other sporting clubs is that, for example, like the sporting clubs that we have in Oman are sporting clubs that host many different activities and many different sporting sports at the same time. Like for example, football, hockey, many different stuff like ice hockey and tennis and whatever. But for us, it's different. We're kind of specialized in this field, specifically the field of triathlons and all the sports that are related to it, as I
Which
mentioned
is
before.
swimming, running.
Yes, the swimming, running, and cycling, basically,
Cycling, yeah.
like they're related to the field of triathlon. And we plan to kind of stick into that field. We don't plan to kind of just involve ourselves in everything and at the same time, because being focused on one specific sport makes your life very much easy. And instead of going and feeding yourself with information about different sports every time, like, oh my god, let's go and organize a football match or something. Oh, let's go and do a tennis match or whatever. Look, a triathlon is very easy for us, but a triathlon is easy in terms of like for us to organize it, because it's a triathlon. We've been doing it for a couple of years right now. But at the same time, we try and organize our triathlons in the international standards that we have, that are set by the International Triathlon Union. And we try to kind of plan our events the way an international triathlon would actually be planned. Because, we don't know, maybe one day we actually like come across an opportunity to actually organize an international event here in Oman.
Even the world.
Why not?
Inshallah. You guys have already registered for the as a membership.
We are in the process of being registered in the International Union right now. It's a long process. It needs a couple of months and years maybe. But we are in the process and we're going to get there at the end. If not this year, maybe next year. If not next year, maybe the next year after that.
Okay. So the triathlon event that you run is every year? Once a year?
Yes, it's an annual event.
Is it happening every October?
Well, not in that sense, but then it's annual for sure. We'll be organizing that every year. But I can't basically tell you when it's going to be exactly, because
Do you know when is the next one? Probably, so people can start registering.
Definitely next year, but not with no specific date or month being given.
And how would people be notified about it? Or how can people know about it? How can I know so I can register? You and I can join it, next time.
Next year, basically, as I said, Premiere Online.
It will be on the site, premiereonline.com.
Exactly. The website, as I said, you can turn on notifications if you want through your email. And you can get like
notified or an alert once
stuff of what's happening, and then next time when it happens, you would actually be like notified through your email, and then okay, why not? You can go and register.
Okay, and is it free, or how much do you need to pay for it?
You have to pay a fee,
Okay.
depending on the category you're gonna be in. It's not a free event. It's basically a sporting event, and just like any other sport event around the world, everyone pays fees. Like it's in the field of sports, everyone pays fees. So there are specific fees that we include there, like for the stationery, the gifts, the organization of the whole stuff. These are registration fees that you pay for, which are like I can't remember exactly, but I think they're 10 riyals.
Okay.
You pay to be a part of the event, and
For any category.
it depends on the category, but then mostly the average is 10 riyals.
Okay.
And basically, that's what you pay to be a part of the event.
Awesome. We're gonna take a quick break and revert back and discuss this exciting event that you have here for Oman.
Sure.
Muscat Triathlon is the discussion that we have today, and our guest is Omar Al Balushi. He's the media director of the event. Omar, tell me one thing.
Yes.
How can someone know or learn about the things and activities that you do?
So, currently, our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are our portal basically to the world, where everyone can know everything about like the coming events, the plans, what are we doing, updates about the Muscat Triathlon Club, which is basically Muscat Triathlon Club.
Okay.
It's the same thing on Instagram and Twitter. At Muscat, on Instagram, it's at Muscat Triathlon, and on Twitter, it's at Muscat Triathlon Club.
Okay.
Our social media pages are currently being like updated, like whenever something happens, whenever the new race is coming, we keep promoting about it on our social media. And I think basically that's it. Like the social media pages are your way of learning what do we do at Muscat Triathlon Club and what are the stuff that we're going to be doing in the future.
Okay. What are the pages on social media that you have?
As Muscat Triathlon Club?
Yes.
Facebook,
On all of them?
Instagram, and Twitter, yes.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah.
And out of all, which one do you find to be the most effective one?
Facebook, of course.
Facebook is
Yes.
more than the Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, as in Facebook, Facebook kind of, it makes it easy for you to reach people. Like we started boosting posts on Facebook,
Okay.
and I think it's one of the places where a lot of our people who currently are registered for the event on the 7th
Okay.
came from Facebook, and we keep getting a lot of correspondence from people on Facebook about basically, oh, we're a part of the event, we can't wait to see you, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Facebook was our way of getting to all these people, because the way Facebook works when you boost posts and stuff, we kind of chose the markets we want, we kind of chose who do we want, the categories and stuff, and I think you've already tried doing boosting on Facebook, and it really worked. We got to the right audience we want, and we got like 120 people to be a part of our event.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And what you've paid is fraction to what you paid to other mediums?
Of course. Facebook is very cheap compared to when you you have to pay for a real advertisement in real life.
Okay. You are the media director looking
Yes.
after the event, and the channel that you utilized was the social media and specifically
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
And you found it to be more effective compared to the other mediums.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram were a bit helpful, but not as much as Facebook was. Facebook was basically the place where we got exploded through like people coming and saying, "How can we be a part of this event? How can
Awesome.
we be a part of this event?" And we kept directing people to the Premier Online page, because it's where you can actually register officially for the event, because there's no other way you can register for the event except for premieronline.com.
What about Snapchat, the other baby of Facebook? You know that Facebook has
Yes.
recently bought that.
Snapchat.
You haven't tried that?
is we didn't kind of
Experiment
think
with it.
about developing a Snapchat page where we can do that, but we might do it for a online coverage of the event. Maybe, why not? We can explore doing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now tell me one thing. Apart from paying money to register, what else is there as a requirement? Height, weight, experience, and so on?
We do not require anything, because we have like people who have been a part of our events that are physically impossible to be a part of the event.
Okay.
But then people know their own measures. We don't kind of judge people based on that. So basically, on our Premier Online page, when you register, there is a page just like the terms and conditions one that everyone keeps skipping in on social media.
Yeah.
But ours, people don't skip it. People actually read through it, because there's different terms and conditions from each
Category.
competition, and well, not in terms of categories, but then in terms of categories, you can sign for the Olympic as much as you want. Like, it's your responsibility, because when you register, you as I said, there is a button that you push. Let's say that you agree to the terms and conditions that you are responsible for yourself if something happens, because maybe we do not know what is your capabilities when you come to the event. Maybe Tariq is more like, I'm fatter than Tariq, but then I can do more activities than Tariq. People know their own capabilities. We do not judge, basically. So when you sign in for the event, you know what you're supposed to do, and you know if what fits you exactly. Because as I mentioned before, all the people who come to these triathlons are not people who just like thought, woke up one day, and read something about a triathlon on a newspaper, like, let's go and try it out in Oman. No. People who come to Oman are people who already tried triathlon maybe for like 1 year at least. This is, of course, by an experimenting with people who already came to some of our events here in Oman. So the people who come to Oman are people who are already like traveling around the world for other triathlons, just like they're coming to Oman. They've traveled around the world for the same thing. People who come from Dubai, because, well, in Dubai there's a lot of triathlons and marathons there, so they kind of know what they're getting themselves into. So when you sign in for, let's say, the Olympic triathlon for an individual, you already know what an Olympic would look like. What an Olympic category would look like, because there's a difference between the sprint and in the Olympic in terms of basically the distance of each phase of the 3 phases we have. It's longer, basically. So to answer your question, people do know what they're getting themselves into, basically, so they choose the categories based on whatever fits them. And when you come in front of us and we see you, and we'll be like, okay, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, I know. But no matter how much do you weigh, no matter how do you look, if you know that you can do the Olympic, then it's your responsibility and you're getting into it. And mostly people do cross the finish line when we have that. For example, like the last event we had was in Salalah during the Kharif. They have Kharif marathon in Salalah. We had more registers in the Olympic than the sprint, because the sprint was 5 kilometers and the half marathon was 21 kilometers. We had more people we had 200 people approximately. More than 3/4 of the people were actually a part of the Olympic one, which I was surprised. I was like, wait, isn't the Olympic supposed to be harder than the sprint? They told me yes. Then why do we have more people on the Olympic than the sprint? Because the Olympic is more challenging.
Okay.
And people do like challenges in a way, because it's longer, and Salalah during the Kharif, it's like very good weather, and then I would want to run for 21 kilometers. I don't mind doing that, but then obviously it's going to take me a day and a half to do that.
Mashallah. So you don't look after their weight or anything? Anyone can come and join you?
But then people who come to the events, they already know what they're getting themselves into. You can actually see them. Like, once someone comes towards you and he already signed to the Olympic, you actually can see that this guy actually can do Olympic.
Okay.
And some people would do it for the challenge. Some people would actually want to do it for the challenge. They'd be like, okay, why not try the 21 kilometers instead of doing the regular one?
Just to put some facts and clarity together, when you said you're more fatter than me or so on, no, you look good, you're fit, and mashallah, more handsome than me, mashallah.
Thank you.
Now tell me one thing. You talked about Try Me as a company that you guys are working with. Tell me more about it.
Try Me is a company that is working currently in partnership with the Muscat Triathlon Club.
Okay.
The company...
it's an international company? Or?
It's an Omani-based company.
Called Try Me.
Try Me. It's a Omani-funded company, Omani-owned, Omani-based. It's basically started in Oman and started working on that. These guys came and said, okay, why not? They're triathletes, basically. And Try Me is specialized in organizing triathlons. That's their living. They are professionals in organizing triathlons. Even many of them actually were a part of organizing international events.
Okay.
Like the Ironman that I've already mentioned. Some of them were a part of operations in the Ironman in Bahrain.
Oh, mashallah,
so
very good.
they know how the international standards really, really work.
Okay.
So when we say that they're going to be organizing a triathlon on an international base, they're not just going to theoretically do it. They already been doing that somewhere around the world, somewhere in Dubai or Bahrain or somewhere in the Gulf countries where people are doing that. So basically, they would come and organize it basically according to the international standards of the International Triathlon Union. And Yeah, they're good at what they do. That's
Okay.
why the Muscat Triathlon Club came in partnership with them, and every single event we have as Muscat Triathlon Club is in partnership with them because they know what they do and they're good at what they do, and we trust them for that. And we kind of urge whoever wants to organize a triathlon, Try Me is your choice, basically.
Okay. If you're the event's going to be next week on 7th.
On the 7th.
If you're going to tell me about I want you to walk me through the event itself from 7 on the 7th itself,
Yeah.
on the first thing in the morning all the way till the evening, how it's going to be working, what people should be expecting, what are the outcome, and then also the benefit that people will get as the people who are participating, or even the audience who are coming to watch the event itself.
So basically, the event is gonna start on the 7th at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So, but our participants are gonna be here before. Some of them are gonna arrive on the 6th, and some of them are gonna arrive on the 7th to kind of fetch what we call the race pack. So the race pack is basically the package that you get before the race.
Okay.
To kind of, it includes maybe a shirt, a full uniform, maybe some gadgets you need to wear for the race.
And you've got 3 things. You've got running, swimming and cycling.
Okay. So
all happening same day, same time.
Same day, same time. The race starts at 3. Of course, all the categories start at the same time. They start at 3. And the difference is if we are going to go, I'm going to mention, for example, the sprint TriStar, for example.
Okay.
Whoever participated a part of the individual category and is in the subcategory of the sprint TriStar is going to swim for 750 meters in the marina in the Millennium Triathlon. In the Millennium Triathlon Millennium Resort. And he's going to cycle for 20 kilometers and run for 5 kilometers.
Okay.
That's in the sprint TriStar. But then if you are, for example, signing for the Olympic triathlon, which is the Olympic level of the individuals, you would have to swim for 1,500 meters. So that's 1.5 kilos.
Okay.
And you're going to have cycle for 40 kilometers and run for 10 kilometers. So that's the individuals. For the teams, it's the same, but then these are teams. And how do the teams work? Teams could be basically developed of 3 people. In a team, instead of doing the whole process from running, cycling, and swimming, well, let's say, for example, me and you and the DJ decided to put a team and go together there. So basically, it would be like, who's going to swim, who's going to cycle, and who's going to run.
Oh, so if it's an individual, he or she has to do all of them.
Thing.
Wow.
If it's a team, you would have to kind of like, well, it's obviously you can do it if you want. If you want to, like,
if
the
it's
whole
one
team
person.
doing the whole thing.
Yeah, you can get a whole team doing the whole thing, or each one of them.
Yeah, and most probably they would gonna be like dividing it because we have transition areas where they have to kind of like, you know how teams work. سباقات تسلسلية, basically, they call them. So it's a series. You'd have like kind of someone is gonna start. It starts with swimming, and then cycling, and then running.
Okay.
So someone would have to basically kind of swim, and then once he arrives to the shore, he has to give the other guy a sign to run, and then this guy has to go and run outside or in the course, and comes back, and the third guy has to come and go on his bicycle and kind of like just try and race. It's a really fun thing, to be honest. I've seen it in real life. I've seen how people do it, and it's really fun. It's like, some people be like, how could you do that? Because
I just went in my head as well thinking about that.
Exactly, but then you would not feel that. You would not feel that.
Because I think you would need a Superman. No wonder that people call it Iron Man, because they need an Iron Man or Superman kind of person to go through all this.
And as I said, see, the whole idea of triathlon. A triathlon is not like a marathon. A marathon, anyone can be a part of a marathon. From different people, different sizes of body, different people. You can experiment. In a triathlon, because you need to swim, you need to run, and you need to cycle. So I think it's shaping in your mind the idea of a person that's going to be a part of that, right? This is the triathlon sports is basically is much difficult more than the marathon. It's a marathon is just one third of it.
Okay, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What do the winners get?
The winners get medals. Of course, anyone who finishes the cross line gets a medal for us. We kind of just like appreciation for the people who are gonna be crossing the line because they came from outside the country, and then they're gonna be running and cycling and swimming for us. So to compete. We do have a grand prize, but I'm not gonna say what is it. It's a surprise. For whoever wants to know, come and join us at the Millennium Triathlon to know.
Awesome.
But we do have some basically gifts for the people who are there, and the gift pack itself, the race pack itself, is a gift for the people to like come there and have it there. And we do have a complimentary dinner for all of our participants after the race is finished. So we'll be joining with our people who are coming from around the world, sit with them, and yeah, I guess that's it.
Omar, thank you very, very much for joining us today on Oman Radio FM 90.4 to share with us about the Muscat Triathlon Club. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you and all the best, all the team, the very, very best, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Talib.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program for this week. I hope you all had an intriguing time with us. Let us catch up again next week on Tuesday, same time, 5 p.m. for another session. I'm Tariq Al Barwani, along with our studio engineer, Muhammad Al Aremi, wishing you all a happy and a pleasant week. Ma'a salama.